Ankit would be resident commissioner of Delhi. Ritu is at Surat. So she travels to Surat and Bombay. Prakul is, of course, now the managing partner instead of me of the entire firm. In charge of ex-officio, in charge of Delhi also. So, like, she'll be in charge of Bombay when the Bombay opens next month. 26 November ko Bombay hoga. He is in charge of Delhi. So, non-resident in charge. And then I have Abhinav, who is going as resident commissioner of Bombay office next month. He's moving to Bombay. Matt would be here in Delhi.
Okay.
And Sardarji was ex-Chir Amrit, but may join very soon this Delhi office. And yes, Rahul is our indirect tax expert.
Oh,
so he moves all India.
सब काम आपका indirect है.
Vranda would be here in Delhi, and she supports litigation team.
Okay.
Shraddha happens to be wife of our resident commissioner, and she deals in indirect taxes, and now wants to venture in my other subjects other than taxation, corporate law, and all of that. Mukesh is looking at direct taxes and appearing before tribunals independently, making opinions and doing direct tax work. So like that. She is a new joinee here. ये दिल्ली से रिक्रूट किया है इसको रिया, और ये दिल्ली ऑफिस का लोकली रिक्रूटेड हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है.
सबको एक बिल्ला दे दो. मेरा कंप्यूटर इसके आगे बुड्ढा हो चुका है.
मेरे को सिर्फ नाम याद है.
आपका बुड्ढा नहीं है सर, इसके आगे मेरे को भी याद नहीं है.
वो चिप.
अरे मैं कह मेरे को सिर्फ नाम याद है. इसी जानते हैं कल के.
मैंने एक बार इनसे बात की जब आपका नोटिस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लगा था. She called me when I was appearing in your court. So आप इनकी daughter-in-law,
sister, brother-in-law, मेरी वाइफ.
आपकी वाइफ, ब्रदर की वाइफ है, और ये भी लॉयर.
बहुत सोच समझ के बोलना पड़ेगा.
अभी जाना मिलेगा.
अब सब जगह ऑफिस
अभी मैं आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करा देता हूँ जस्टिस झवेरी से. वो ऑनलाइन ऑलरेडी है. सो लेट्स कम. स्वामी जी आए तब तक इंट्रोड्यूस करते. Thank you. Is it lawyer? You are?
No, I'm also the senior. I used to work in your phone.
Oh, good. He interned with us, and now he's independently practicing in Delhi. आइए सर. झवेरी साहब, मैं इंट्रोड्यूस कर दूं. आप सलिल सिंगल जी हैं, चेयरमैन ऑफ पीआई इंडस्ट्रीज, और अभी बहुत सारा उदयपुर में चैरिटेबल काम करते हैं. इनके बेटे अब चेयरमैन हो गए हैं. ही इज चेयरमैन एमेरिटस of the company. So he is mostly doing social and charitable work. He has remained active in badminton and many other things, and now he is living the most wonderful phase of his life.
Yes, there's a lot that I do.
So Justice Jhaveri was acting Chief Justice in Rajasthan earlier.
Such
and
a
now,
pleasure to meet you, sir.
after that, he became Chief Justice of Orissa High Court, and now he is a very renowned arbitrator. Headquartered at Ahmedabad, and he is my chief advisor to everything what I do in legal field, or maybe in the life or social field. So he is my number one first advisor to all these things. He has all the blessings, and he is permanent chief guest at the opening of all my offices. So he's coming to New York also just for this.
How nice.
With Swamiji, he's also coming to New York.
Fantastic. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Honored to meet you.
And Kothari साहब, सर जयपुर में आपने वो पेलेशिया देखा होगा, स्टैचू सर्कल पर पीछे बहुत बड़े फ्लैट्स बन रहे हैं, तो पेलेशिया प्रोजेक्ट के तो बना ही रहे हैं, बट ये पूरे इंडिया में डैम बनाने का काम करते हैं सर। इनका मेजर काम है, चाहे वो मेघालय हो चाहे राजस्थान हो, तो सभी जगह जो बड़े डैम के प्रोजेक्ट है वो आप ही करते हैं।
नमस्कार सर। नमस्कार।
एंड मोनिका दीदी, मोनिका विधानी, she was my father's first lady student in CA course, and now for me she's like elder sister. She was director in Bharat Petroleum earlier, and thereafter, after retirement from Bharat Petroleum, superannuation I should say, इनके रिंगटोन तो मोबाइल में अभी भी भारत पेट्रोलियम वाली ही चलती है, because of her loyalties to that Navratna. But now she is director in ABB, the renowned engineering and power company. Yeah, and she's also director in some German company, I would say.
I'm a director in 3 companies. 2 of them are listed companies, and one has just been delisted. So that's another sentence. Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't retire as a director in BPCL. I retired as an executive director. There's a big difference.
So,
Pleasure to meet you.
अभी सर स्वामी जी आने वाले हैं।
हाँ, no issue.
जैसे ही वो आएंगे तो मैं चालू करता हूँ। अब तक मैं आप लोगों को बिठाता हूँ। You can just have a chat with Justice Jhaveri as to what he's doing and all that, and I'll just receive स्वामी जी outside and come back. आप सब इधर आइए। अब दूसरा जी है, इनसे मेरा कांटेक्ट सिर्फ कल रात को हुआ। He wanted to deliver the first copy of his Ramayana written in Hindi, so to Swamiji. So therefore he is here. He wanted to meet all of you to deliver his first copy. He is a gold medalist management graduate, and thereafter he remained at top positions in several companies. After retirement, he has taken up different things. He put the Ramayana in English first, not exactly the Ramayana, but some glimpses relating to management.
I think स्वामी जी आ गए।
स्वामी जी आगे, मैं बाहर जाता हूँ।
इनके डर से आना पड़ा मुझे। चलो आगे क्या करना है?
बस अभी सबसे पहले आइए आइए। हाँ,
अरे वाह,
आपके शाम के कार्यक्रम के जिनकी वजह से मैं पकड़ पाया आपको। आइए।
बहुत बढ़िया। आपके कारण उनके चंगुल में फंस गया।
अरे क्या बात, आप सीपी कोठारी साहब, और जो भी कंट्री में बड़े डैम बनते हैं वो सारे इन्हीं के बनाए हुए हैं। जितने डैम, चाहे वो सरदार सरोवर, कोई भी डैम आप कोई भी राज्य में नाम लीजिए। और जयपुर में जो पेलेशिया प्रोजेक्ट है सर, स्टैचू सर्कल में जो बड़े पहले उम्मीद में हुआ करती थी, वो
बहुत अच्छा लगा।
और संदीप मेरा ब्रदर है सर, कैश चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट।
अकेले प्रवास में होता हूँ तो ये सब करना पड़ता है। ठीक है ना, क्योंकि सब आईडी चाहिए। सब जगह आपको करना पड़ता है।
ये मोनिका दीदी है, पापा की पहली लेडी स्टूडेंट एससीए ट्रेनिंग, और हमारे जो दीदी है मेरे से 11 साल बड़ी है, और शुरू से निवास दिल्ली, पहले भारत पेट्रोलियम की एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर थे, करेक्ट करते हैं, एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर। अब एक एबीबी एक बड़ी कंपनी है मद्रास बेस्ड, बेंगलोर बेस्ड है, उसकी डायरेक्टर है, और 2 फॉरेन कंपनी है उसकी डायरेक्टर है।
Swiss company है। Peter Voser, the chairman, is a very good friend of mine. We meet at least twice a year.
मैं 1 मिनट आपका एक चालू करने के पहले ऑनलाइन कनेक्ट हो गए, तो केवल एक बार नमस्कार।
ऐसा है, ये संजय अभी तुम्हारे हाथ में, जो कराओगे वो करेंगे।
शाम को आपके हाथ में है ना।
यहाँ पहुँच गए तो फंस गए।
कार्यक्रम चालू करने के पहले स्वामी जी को वो चालू कर रहे हैं सर, दीप प्रज्वलन। और आप नहीं आ पाए तो बाकी सब लोग मिलके करेंगे सर, स्वामी जी के मार्गदर्शन में। वो करते हैं सर, चलो आपकी परमिशन।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
अरे कानून सहज सरल भाषा में लिखे, हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के महत्वपूर्ण स्थानीय भाषा, इसके लिए हमें सामान्य जानकारी भी बड़ी
पंडित जी बोलो।
पंडित जी तो ये है सर, मैं पूजा पाठ वाला सब ध्यान देता हूँ।
बोला शंतनु जी।
गणानान्त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे प्रियानान्त्वा प्रियपतिं हवामहे निधीनान्त्वा निधिपतिं हवामहे पशु मम आहम जानि गर्भधमात्वमजा श्री गर्भधम
वायु जी के इन व्यवस्थाओं में और भी
स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु।
मंगल मूर्ति
मोरया।
ये मुझे तो समझ आ कानून मुझे कानून सचिवों के ऐसी बातें सम्मेलन को उद्घाटन सत्र को ऑनलाइन संबोधित कर रहे थे। दोनों का सम्मेलन गुजरात के एकतानगर में कानून मंत्रालय द्वारा किया जा रहा है।
महाराज की जय।
उनका सिर देव दिवा पहले को 4 की क्वालिटी शानदार।
आप सामने अब मेरी चलो हम सब अब तो आइए सिंगल साहब आप भी जाए
भाई सर ये आइए।
मम्मी को मम्मी को भी आइए।
आप आगे आइए इधर।
करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते।
मारवाड़ का घी है।
अग्निर्ज्योतिर्ज्योतिरग्निः स्वाहा ज्योतिर्वर्चाः स्वाहा सूर्योर्वर्चोज्योतिर्वर्चाः स्वाहा ज्योतिः सूर्याः सूर्योज्योतिः स्वाहा। गोपाल कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
आपको पापा दीपक करना है और माला करना है। माला स्वामी आपको पहले स्वामी
यहाँ रख दो।
यहाँ रख दे।
हाँ, रख दो।
रख दे।
हाँ, रख दो। रख दो।
आप भी साथ में आइए ना, काफी साथ आइए ना।
नहीं आपको
नहीं, मैं करती हूँ।
आपको सीमा के साथ करना है, ये आप और सीमा करें।
हल्का थोड़ा साइड में
अंकित go ahead.
थोड़ा फेस को
मंगलम भगवान
मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजा मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय हरिः।
हम आपको इधर एक बार पहले दिखा के फिर मैं बता देता हूँ। आइए सब सारे
जहाँ कहेंगे वहाँ
नहीं आइए भाई साहब आइए, मोनिका दीदी को बुलाइए, आप भी आइए। अंकित आ जाओ, प्रफुल्ल कम हियर। सर आप मोनिका दीदी, मम्मी, सीमा,
बहुत सुंदर छवि है।
आप कभी मौका मिले तो दो चार चीजें देखिएगा, मजा आएगा, अच्छा लगेगा।
पूरा
पापा की पूरा जीवन है पैदा होने से लेकर
पूरा देखा मैंने।
अच्छा
प्रोजेक्ट
आइए।
मिला था।
आप आइए।
या सामने
ये सब काम मुंद्रा जी का है।
मैं
मुंद्रा जी साहब कभी रात को संपर्क हुआ पहली बार, मैं कभी मिला हूँ लोगों ने पहले बात से पहले। आप कोई MBA गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट है पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी से, कई कंपनी में काम किया और काम करने के बाद रिटायरमेंट के बाद ये इन्होंने रामायण लिखी इंग्लिश में, कुछ ग्लिम्स मैनेजमेंट ग्लिम्स फ्रॉम रामायण पूरी किताब, और उसके बाद अभी हिंदी में लिखी और उसका अनावरण तो इन्होंने भगवान को अर्पित करके करा। पहली कॉपी आपको देना चाह रहे हैं और 2 लाइन आपसे हस्ताक्षर चाह रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए इन्होंने संपर्क करा मेरे से, तो मैंने कहा जरूर बनाया। इसलिए मैं पहली बार मिला तो वो आपको देना चाहते हैं और सब गेस्ट को देना चाहते हैं।
वाह वाह वाह। मतलब पहुँच दे रहे चश्मा। हाँ, बहुत बड़ा कर।
ये अभी आपको एक माना, और मेरे मेरे 2 दोस्त हैं साहब, एक वो हर जितने तेरे ऑफिस खुलेंगे उसमें गणेश जी की मूर्ति मेरी तरफ से होनी चाहिए। एक अमेरिका में दोस्त है और ये दोस्त हमारा बैच है, वो कहते हैं जितने ऑफिस खुलेंगे उसमें सरस्वती की मूर्ति हमारी तरफ से होनी चाहिए। सब ऑफिस में ये सरस्वती की मूर्ति यही भेजते हैं, अमेरिका ऑफिस होगा तो एक जगह लेके आएगा। ये पूजा बस अभी करनी है, ये अभी लेके आए। पहले आपको आप बताओ मैं
ये हिंदी वालों की रामायण रचना का, इसमें मैंने पूरी कहानी लिखी है भौतिक जगत के भौतिक सिद्धांतों से, मेंटल जगत के मेंटल से। मैं राजस्थान का ही हूँ, सूरजगढ़ की। ये मेरी पहली किताब थी जो इंग्लिश में लिखी थी, ये काफी पॉपुलर हुई, ये अमेज़न में मेरे को लगा रखी है।
वाल्मीकि ओनली
नहीं, वाल्मीकि दूसरा, तो बस मैंने पूरी कहानी को पूरा मतलब एक सूर्य से लेके रावण से लेके लास्ट तक वेदवती वगैरह सब डाला, सब प्रसंग लेके उसमें लॉजिकली क्या क्या निकल सकता है ना। मेरा यह मानना है कि एक रामायण पढ़ने से आपको जीवन के सारे सिद्धांत मिलते हैं, चाहे वो लीगल प्रिंसिपल्स भी क्यों ना हो। इसमें लीगल प्रिंसिपल्स का भी जिक्र है, जैसे एक अपने मंत्री के संबंध और ग्राम का संवाद है, उन्होंने बताया सब कुछ। इस तरह और बहुत सारे संवाद है कि टेररिस्ट से कैसे टैकल करना चाहिए, तो सारे रामायण के अंदर मिलते हैं। ये मैंने अपने जीवन में अप्लाई भी है। ये मेरी तीसरी किताब है यार।
अयोध्या कांड में भगवान श्री राम से भरत जी मिलते हैं, उसके पश्चात का उपदेश का जो एक अध्याय है वो सारा स्टेट मैनेजमेंट का है।
ठीक है,
टोटल स्टेट मैनेजमेंट।
सेम उसमें क्या है कि जब वो उनका डिसीजन लेने की बात आती है तो महाराज जनक और ये दशरथ दोनों कहते हैं हम तो भरत के प्रेम के प्रति हो गए हैं, डिसीजन तुम लो। वो पूरी कहानी उसमें आती है कि जी जब डिसीजन लेने की बात आई तो वो कहते हैं तुमने मेरे पे छोड़ दिया इसलिए कि हमारा काम ही है कि जब डिसीजन लेना तो गुरुओं में छोड़ दो, लेकिन अब तो डिसीजन तुमको लेना पड़ेगा। ये मेरी तीसरी किताब है। ये अभी एक दो
मुझे
मैंने एक ड्राफ्ट है।
मुझे कहाँ लिखना है?
आपको हिंदी वाली में।
हिंदी वाली
तब तक
पहले पेज पे लिखा।
पहले पेज में सर
प्रकुल
ये सब प्रकुल सर पीछे फर्स्ट पेज है ना। ये ये चलेगी। हाँ ये भी
ये पूरा उपदेश का सार है।
रामायण में तो सब तुलसीदास जी ने भी सबने पूरे वेदों पुराणों सबका सार किसी न किसी तरीके से प्रस्तुत किया है, किसी न किसी संवाद के रूप में।
पर ये स्वामी जी समझाया।
समझ चाहिए
रामो विग्रहवान धर्मः रामादिवत वर्तितव्यम्।
अपनी आवाज ये तो
भगवान श्री राम मूर्तिमंत धर्म है, उनके परिवार जैसा आचरण रखना।
सभी कुछ पुस्तक और लाए हूँ आपके, कुछ पुस्तक और मैं लाया हूँ,
वो आपको मैं लेके आप हमारे सारे गेस्ट को इकट्ठे कर।
अच्छा
ये आपकी टेबल के लिए है। इसमें लिखा है मुझे भारतीय होने पर गर्व है, स्वामी श्री गोविंद देव जी।
भारत माता की
जय।
आप हमारी तरफ से देंगे। ये आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव का भारत सरकार द्वारा जारी किया गया चांदी का सिक्का है। आप हमारी तरफ से ये सब हमारे सारे प्रोग्राम में ये हम सबको देते हैं। हिंदी वाला भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में से हम कोई फंडामेंटल राइट की बात नहीं करते हैं, दो ही बात करते हैं हमारे प्रोग्राम में। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का प्रिएम्बल क्या है, वो वही है जो गीता में लिखा है, और दूसरी बात करते हैं हमारी फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज क्या है, चाहे नदियों का प्रोटेक्ट करना है, चाहे आदमी को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, चाहे 14 साल से छोटे के बच्चों को, ये सब फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज होता है जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कोई पढ़ता नहीं। हमारे प्रोग्राम में हम
ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में है क्या फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज
चैप्टर है लिखा हुआ, तो हम केवल इसको छाप के हमारे ऑफिस में लगाते हैं कि आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि जो गीता में है, अगर आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ लिया और गीता पढ़ ली तो एक बात है, आप ये पढ़िए
राइट
ड्यूटीज का। तो हम सबको पॉकेट एडिशन देते हैं कि अपनी कोट की जेब में रखिए इसको, ताकि कभी कोई विपत्ति हो तो इसको आप पढ़ लेंगे, और इसको पढ़ लेंगे तो 99% सॉल्यूशन निकल जाएगा, जैसे गीता को इसी एक पेज से निकल जाएगा। इसका हिंदी में भी है और इंग्लिश में भी है, ये वही।
और कभी सॉल्यूशन नहीं निकले तो संजय जी को फोन करना ना।
ये ओरिजिनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का जो डिजाइन है, ओरिजिनल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का वही है, ये जो अपने बॉर्डर और डिजाइन लिखा हुआ है, ये सोशल इनिशिएटिव बाय चिर अमृत कॉर्पोरेट स्कूल। बस ये आपके लिए है, बाकी मैं सबको दूंगा यहाँ सबके लिए है ये। ठीक है, जिसको हिंदी में चाहिए वो हिंदी में है, जिसको इंग्लिश में चाहिए।
वंदे मातरम।
अब वो सरस्वती को हटाओ वहां से, आ जाओ इधर आओ, माला ले आओ। हाँ इधर आ जाओ, राहुल आगे जाओ।
माता जी ये माल आपके गले में।
फोटो खींचना
आप मेरे पास अरे उतारना नहीं, मेरे जाने तक उतारना नहीं। मेरी माला कंपल्सरी।
हाँ
संजय जी इधर आइए।
प्लीज कम। समझ जी ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सीनियर एडवोकेट हैं अरिजीत प्रसाद जी।
इनके पुराने वो ज्यादा जरूरी है।
आमने सामने लड़ते हैं सर, हम कोर्ट में आमने सामने लड़ते हैं। ये भारत सरकार की तरफ से है, वकील भारत सरकार के हैं, मैं लोग आपकी तरफ से होता हूँ, हम लोग आमने सामने लड़ते हैं।
करीब हमारे 20 साल हो गए, 20 साल
20 years yes।
अच्छा स्वामी जी, अच्छा
1 मिनट के बाद जाओ।
एक मिनट सरस्वती के बीच में ना।
या कुंदेन्दु तुषारहारधवला, या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता, या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा, या श्वेतपद्मासना, या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता, सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती विशेषराज्ञः। सरस्वती माता की जय।
आइए थैंक यू सो मच। आइए थैंक यू जो लोग बाहर रहेंगे वो बाहर से यहाँ से प्रोग्राम में कनेक्ट होंगे, सब जगह से ऑफिस में कनेक्शन है, या आप अपने मोबाइल से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। आप लोग अंदर जा रहे हैं, हम अंदर से आपसे बाहर आइए। थैंक यू।
आइए
मोनिका दीदी को लाइए। आप आगे आ जाओ, आपको बाहर
आप सब इधर
मोनिका दीदी
आप अपना परिचय खुद देंगे, दोनों एडवोकेट हैं।
मेरा नाम ऋषभ संचेती है, जोधपुर से हूँ, मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट में प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ। सर नाम क्या है? ऋषभ संचेती है,
एडवोकेट रिकॉर्ड भी है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में प्रैक्टिस भी करते हैं, जोधपुर के। और इंसिडेंटली ये भी जोधपुर के।
मैं विनायक भंडारी, मैं भी जोधपुर से।
आपके पिताजी से आप मिले होंगे इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस के तलबीर भंडारी साहब, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज थे, वहाँ है एक में, यहाँ अब उनके रखे।
Thank you. Yes.
Meenakshi, please come here. Monica Didi, please come.
मैंने इतना टालने का प्रयास किया कि वो संजय लास्ट है
मिक्स सर मैं अंदर लाऊंगा ना चेयर सही है चेयर
बैग का ख्याल रखना।
अभी रखो
अपना पुष्कर का जो विद्यालय है उन्हें बहुत कम लोग देखते हैं। And उसमें आपके लिए वो पता उसको ओपी सो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन कितना समय
फर्स्ट स्क्रीन दिखाओ जो मैंने देखी थी मोबाइल। बंद करना पड़ेगा इसको, करना पड़ेगा, आवाज इको हुई। सर आप सुन सकते हैं जवेरी साहब?
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
तो जवेरी साहब ये मुझे पता नहीं आपने देखा कि नहीं जो हुआ वो कार्यक्रम?
पूरा देखा।
So sir, we are starting this workshop and this is a very small workshop where there are diverse participants, and I have to use English because we have participants from America and Brazil and Dubai and Italy. So therefore I welcome Mrs. Justice Geeta Mittal, former Chief Justice, Jammu and Kashmir High Court. So kindly be seated. So you have now the esteemed panel. I hope everyone in the panel has joined. Can I just hear your voice? Filippo, are you there? Are you there?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Yeah,
Yeah,
good morning.
Yeah. And Siddhi, are you online?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah. And Carolina, are you there?
I am here.
Can you hear me, Carolina?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well, very
Okay.
well. I cannot see a picture. I would like to see the picture. We are all.
I think
हाँ, स्वामी जी आप सामने आएंगे तो सब लोग आएंगे।
सामने आ जाएंगे, मैं उधर आ
आपका उसमें जो वो ज्यादा अच्छा है।
बैठेंगे तो अच्छा होगा।
हाँ,
यहाँ के बाद
कुर्सी छोड़नी पड़ेगी।
नहीं कुर्सी नहीं छोड़ सकते, वो कुर्सी उनके लिए है, आसन लगा हुआ है। So he'll be on that
When
chair.
you be here on this, he's got everybody.
That's fine.
You please Sanjay carry on. Sanjay carry on.
Yeah.
आप ऐसे नहीं हो सकते।
So
आप नहीं आ सकते।
आप बैठ जाइए।
So now let us start, and I'll introduce the panel first to everyone. And can I have the first slide, Mukesh, to introduce everyone present here? If you can just go on the first slide. We have His Holiness Swami Shri Govindev Giriji, who is treasurer of Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Ayodhya, whosoever is hearing us online. I know a lot of you have already connected and you are waiting for us, and sorry for 11 minutes delay. We have with us our chief guest for the day, Salil Singhal-ji, and we also have another guest, esteemed guest Shri Kothari sir, and then we have Mrs. Justice Geeta Mittal-ji, and we have with us Monica Vidhani-ji here. Introduction is already there everywhere, which I have circulated. Then I have mean moderating this program. Can you let me adjust the camera because I cannot see Justice Mittal's face here. Yeah. And yeah, now I think this is fine. So yes. So can we start, guys? And my question to first question before Meenakshi would ask her question. My question to Shruti. Shruti, are you online? Shruti?
Yes, I'm online. Yes, yes, I'm online. Yeah.
Everyone, Shruti is my who did her graduation from here and masters from New York University in ESG laws, and she's presently working in a company as an ESG officer. So implementing the sustainability there and not focusing on profits but happiness of the environment. That is her job. So let us start the session with her. Shruti, this topic seems to be controversial at the threshold. You know, everyone thinks that why you have kept you feel, and because of you kept this topic here, your suggestion that gender sensitivity is perhaps the most important of all subjects today, not only in India but across the borders. And let us all understand what is this, what do you mean by this, and what is that inclusivity. And later on, we'll hear from Swamiji as to what our Vedas say about this topic, and that is how we'll conclude today. And we'll hear the Brazilian perspective and Italian perspective and Dubai perspective and American perspective and UK perspective. Are you there online, Arunji? Arunji, are you there to give us South African and UK perspective? I think we'll join in a minute. So there are several people who are online, and Carolina, now we can see your face. And I'm starting my first question with my daughter, Shruti. Shruti, would you like me to first give that quiz to the audience and then start? I think that's better. It's a good background. So I'll ask.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. It should start with the question.
To please give. Yeah. So please give pencil to everyone and the audience who are digitally connected. Please be honest and keep a paper and pencil. And there is a small exercise before we start this topic. Can you please have paper and pencil? And I would like to have papers and pencils here also in the conference room. Can you all who are hearing me outside have a paper and a pencil, because there is a small exercise. I can see people around there who are just talking. Please be careful. This is an exercise which is orientation for this topic. So well, please give paper and pencil here very quickly, Mukesh. And no, but that comment would start after that paper and pencil. And now I have, except Swamiji, everyone would have this. And
I took an hand.
No, you are the judge, you are the jury. So you have to see whether everybody is honest or not, whether they are doing their exercise or not. And I know most of you are not good at drawing, but I'm not testing your drawing skills here. And this is a small exercise which Shruti had suggested me to do. So please, I'll ask you to draw 3 personalities, and here goes my first one. Please draw the picture of a nurse. Please draw it.
I've done a similar exercise,
so please don't do it. So please do draw a picture of a nurse. Honestly, online, everyone, please draw the picture of a nurse. And you have 30 seconds for this. Just have 30 seconds for this, and Swamiji would give you an award whosoever draws the best. So you have to draw the picture of a nurse. Please do that in 30 seconds. And Swamiji can just see the watch, whether they are crossing 30 seconds. You have to keep the time, Swamiji. Yes. Whenever you say stop, to stop.
Enough now.
Enough. All right. So kindly draw the picture of a police fellow.
Person.
Ashok, you are not drawing. It's not honest. You have to open the New York office and Swamiji is watching you.
You must be so tired.
I know it is midnight for you, Ashok, but you have to draw it. If you participate, please. We'll have similar exercise in New York. Swamiji is coming there to watch you. Is it enough? Okay. And that's enough. And now, you please draw the picture of a secretary.
Government of India.
That's your choice. I just give one word. That's your choice.
Imagine it's very different.
Personal secretary of Salil Singhal. You draw the picture of personal secretary of Salil Singhal. Let me change the question.
Where is Shruti based?
Jaipur.
Oh,
She's there.
so यहाँ नहीं आई?
And now, yeah, that's fine. And now be honest. And I'll ask you a question. Shruti starts. Please raise your hand. You know how to raise the hand down. Raise the hand if you draw a male in a nurse. Please raise your hand. Whosoever has drawn the picture of a male in nurse, raise your hand. Nobody. There is one.
Amrit.
Oh, great. Oh, good.
He is asking to be.
And now, please raise your hand if you have drawn a female in police. Please raise your hand.
One.
There is one.
Amrit. I think he
Oh,
knows
just
the
one? Nobody in this hall?
He knows the exercise. He knows the exercise.
No, they don't know it.
No?
No. Only my daughter and me. Only two know. Now, please raise your hand if you have drawn a man in a secretary.
2, 3.
All right. Just 3 out of 100.
Amrit is emancipated.
Oh, because we have actually out of 50, we have 25 girls and 25 boys. Already strength of 50. And now let us come to Shruti. Shruti, tell us all about what you know about this subject, because on your request, I've kept this subject as to what is the difference between sex and gender and the sexual orientation. What are these 3 things? Because most of us really don't make a distinction between all the 3. We consider sex as equivalent to gender and gender as equivalent to, orientation of gender and the orientation of sex. We consider to be the same thing. So please guide us through, whatever you have taught us at home. I would like that we all get benefited here. Over to you.
Thank you. Let us start with the sex. So, and why this distinction is important, because today's topic is gender sensitivity and how it is different from other kinds of sensitivity that is there and how we distinguish things. So sex is what a person is born with. It's related to the body. So male and female, that is sex of a person. Or if it is a third sex, that is transgender, that is sex of a person. So that is a reality. That is what somebody is born with. That is a fact. So that is sex. Coming to gender, which is today's topic, that is the social perceptions attached to being a man and being a woman. That is gender. So a man is not supposed to cry. A man is supposed to be strong, and or a woman is supposed the women cry a lot, girls cry a lot. So boy, girl, man, woman, that is gender. That is the perception. So that is not a factual reality. If you look at it that way, that is not a factual reality. It's a social reality. It's the
Shruti, yes, I have lot of times heard from my US friend Ashok that her colleague in the office, Ritu, is man of her family. So is that right?
So when we talk about gender sensitivity, it's not about the right and wrong. Since you have introduced this while and defining gender, I would first like to define gender sensitivity. So the difference between sex and gender is clear to everyone. If there's any question,
I'll just add
and then there's a yeah.
that it relates to gender relates to orientation. You may be born
No.
a woman.
No. She'll
All right,
explain that.
okay.
Yeah. So you're right. So you're partially right. I understood what you were trying to say. So orientation in the sense that how I identify myself. I identify myself as a girl or I identify myself as a guy. That is gender. So that is absolutely correct. So in social perception, your personal perception also comes in. So sex is related to body. Gender is related to your mind and the society's mind of who you are. So it's both ways, right? What I perceive myself and what you perceive me, what my family perceives me and everybody. So you're absolutely right. And the third thing which was introduced was sexual orientation, which is like when we talk about uh, being straight or being homosexual or heterosexual or gay, lesbian, LGB, gay, lesbian. Yeah.
I'll request everyone to please mute unless your turn comes. Everyone kindly mute unless your turn comes to speak, please. Please mute yourself. Otherwise, admin kindly mute.
So the third thing, that is sexual orientation, LGB, lesbian, gay, bisexual. That is the sexual orientation. So that is the third thing. So these are the three things. And what we need to understand before I come back to the question of ye ladka hai, to close the distinction, what we need to understand when we talk about gender sensitivity is that sex needs to be protected because it's a reality. Gender need not be protected the same way because gender is in the mind. So these are the two, these are some distinctions that we need to understand.
Stop you here and then we'll take our next question because this you have given the background and let me ask some questions. And I'll ask a question to, before I ask, let me actually ask a question to Siddhi, right? So you would like to ask first? You please go on. Siddhi, can you hear?
Yes, I can. I'm here.
So far as I know you, you have been born and brought up at US with a touch of Indian culture. And I have seen you dancing many times. You dance Bharatanatyam and you dance so well. You are an amazing dancer. And I've seen your sister fasting for 7 days continuously during Paryushan. So somewhere you both of are attached to Indian culture. And the reason behind this is that your grandparents belong to India. They were born and lived their entire life in India. And your parents as well lived their half of their life in India and half in US, or maybe more than half. But somewhere your upbringing, you were brought up like Indian girls. So, but on the other hand, you have American friends because you have been educated there. So you are also influenced by the Western culture equally. So what difference do you find in their opinion, their
question
mindset
is
towards gender sensitivity, and how do you deal with them?
Yeah.
So first, please highlight, Siddhi, how do you see the distinction between US and India if it comes to gender sensitivity? And because you have dealt with several complexes of dealing with different things at different places. At home, you are different, and at school and at your work, you are different. So how do you deal with them?
Yeah, wow, that is a great and very loaded question. I'd like to first just start off by saying thank you so much for letting me be on this panel. This is such an amazing topic that we're discussing here, and it's something that I'm very passionate and sensitive towards. So it's great that I get to talk about it. So again, my name is Siddhi, and this is a great question. The question is essentially that what is the difference in the US versus India on this stereotype of just gender inclusivity? And I think, to be completely honest, and again, I do want to mention that this is just my personal experience. It's going to differ depending on whoever you ask, but there is, according to me, not that big of a difference in India versus in America. It is there, the disparity is there, and you notice it every single day. And it's not something that is so big that, you know, the media shows it to be a gender pay gap, which definitely exists, but it's the little things that you go through every day as well that you notice it so much as well. So I'll just give you an example. I currently am working at a company. I'm the only female out of 12 males. And I am treated very equally. It's a great company, but it's the little things, like I said. So for example, it's that when I'm being explained a task, I'm being explained it in a way where there is this notion that I could have no prior experience about it. I'm being explained it as if I were maybe a 5-year-old. And I think it's just this notion of incompetence that comes when you're a female, that you would never expect a man to respond to even. They would never be approached that way. So that is one very large thing that I do see still happen over here in America. I've of course been to India so many times.
Interrupt you. I understand what you are saying, Siddhi, but I'll interrupt you at one thing. And I think when I'll pose a very direct question to you. Sometimes it comes to us that America is much ahead of us. And we had a conference in Jaipur where people talk from stage that there are certain things in which America is ahead of us, but there are certain other things where India is much ahead of America. You know, and what example they gave, one of the panelists there, that when our external affairs minister went to America and they asked for the COVID certificate, he just opened his mobile and gave the digital certificate, whereas his son was traveling with him and he just took out that paper from his mobile bag, and America is issuing the paper certificate. We are much ahead. Like that, we discussed that in medical surgical branches, we are much behind America. What do you think in gender sensitivity, we are ahead or behind? Because what I see, you have two judges and past chief justices here. In India, abortion law, abortion says that it is valid. Ladies have a right of abortion. And that's where India is. And America recently overruled its last judgment, and recently Supreme Court says, no, you don't have that right. And once there is conception, you can't abort. So US Supreme Court is saying exactly contrary to what India is saying, or maybe Swamiji would say that US Supreme Court is following the Indian Vedic culture, or I don't know. But what I say is, right over your body in India is considered to be supreme for the ladies. Whereas in America, they say that no, even if you want to, abort, you cannot think of your body, you have to think of the stillborn child. So what's it? It's confusing me whether America is following the Indian culture, or we are right or they are right. Who is ahead, who is behind? Can you just guide me?
That's a great question. I wish I knew the answer to that. I think it's very important to draw differences between what's the law, what's culture, what are societal expectations, and we have to think of all of that together, female feticide is much, much more rare in the US and in first world countries than it is in India. That said, by law, India is far ahead in just the pro-life, pro-choice situation with abortion. I think, in my personal experience, is that they're much more ahead than in America. That said, you have to see the actions, what's happening in India behind closed doors versus what's happening over here. So I think that in general, if you ask me, ultimately we need to come to a place where we can all agree that a body is your own, and hopefully we get to a point where females also realize that, ultimately it does come down to choice, whether whether you choose to keep a baby, whether you choose not to, it does all come down to choice. And I mean, we can go around in circles when we discuss this specific.
At the time, I have to move to the next panelist, and I would like to ask a question from Monica Didi. And I know her, I think, for last more than 40 years, when I was in my half pence in class 8 or something like that. And she was training under my father as a chartered accountant, and she became the executive director of Bharat Petroleum, one of the Navratra companies and all that. But my question to you, you have been all throughout single. And maybe an uncomfortable question for you, but you might have faced, because in the society in which we are living, you might have faced several questions from several people that शादी कब कर रही हो, क्यों नहीं कर रही हो, that is the ultimate life, why only career? So how you have dealt with those questions, and did they really bother you, and did you think that you should have better born in America?
Sanjay, firstly, I think on this whole subject of
I think you have to be a little louder, because
on the whole subject of, can everyone hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
On the other side of the screen.
That's sufficient.
Yes.
It's sufficient. So, okay. So I think the whole subject of gender diversity, I think women have to build themselves on merit. You cannot think I'm a woman and therefore I should be getting these privileges, and I should have this kind of. It's not a quota system. You can get in with a quota system, but can you get respect by a quota system? So you actually have to work your respect for yourself based on your performance, based on your competencies. That's the first thing I want to say.
But how many women are like you?
No, so let me just tell you. Let me give you my entire gamut of views, and then I will answer your question. So when you build your credibility in an organization, I'm especially talking from the corporate angle, when you build yourself as a competent performer, people don't look behind you. And they don't look at what color lipstick you're wearing. It's what you're performing. And whether you're married or not does not matter to them. Okay, it does not matter to them. There are choices that you have made, and people learn to respect those choices because you're performing well. Second thing is, even if people do ask you that question, why do you have to be embarrassed about it? It's your choice. So like she's saying, it's your body. It's your choice what you want to do. So, no, there's no question of being embarrassed about it. And frankly, nobody has ever asked me. Very few people, maybe older parents of my colleagues or someone, but in the workplace, nobody has ever asked me that question. Not because I did not let them pierce the wheel and ask me that question. They asked me a lot of other personal questions. But I think it doesn't matter to them. When you're a colleague in an organization, you're there of your performance and how you're carrying your team along. It's not about whether you're married or whether you have 3 children or whether you have 1 arm or 2 arms. I think it's just your performance at the end of the day. So no, nobody asked me, and I was
great,
never embarrassed.
and good to know that.
And there was never, and there's no embarrassment around that because it's a choice that I have made, and I respect and stand by that choice.
Okay. And yes, please supplement.
Well, I am similar.
I know that.
To Monica ji, in that I am also single.
Yeah, I know that.
But I am sorry, my reading, and I've been an administrator also, is that it's a completely different world if you're a woman. The glass ceilings are so low, and the threshold of evaluation of women's merit is 150 times more than of a man. Every woman has to work more than 150 times better than a male colleague. The tests that a woman has to undergo are definitely not what men have to undergo. And most of the selectors are men. And so if they have a choice between a man and a woman of similar merit, it will invariably be a man who's selected. It is, and and this is, no, we may disagree.
Yes, of
There
course.
have
And
been
that
women,
is what for the
there
planet
are
is.
women, there
We
have
want
been
different
women
views.
CEOs, you have Indira Nui and all, but invariably I've seen that on interviews when I have been part of the selection team, women are asked, when are you getting married? It is expected. Maternity leave comes totally against children. Childcare leave comes completely against children. I have seen women judicial officers getting low assessments because they were on too much leave. Nobody looked at the reason. They were on leave because their mother-in-law was sick. The same criteria wouldn't apply to the husband because he won't take leave to look after an ailing mother-in-law. It is the woman who will do that. So the tests which women have to undergo are tremendous. The glass ceiling exists. It's more than it's extremely deep and it's extremely low for most women. And invariably, I've heard comments like, this is in the
But
courtroom.
still, you have reached to the position
No,
of Chief
you see,
Justice.
judges commenting, oh, your hair is better looking than your arguments. There have been comments.
I don't have hair, by the
I've
way.
had lawyers, women lawyers struggle. God forbid they are under confinement in the advanced stage of pregnancy. One lady lawyer sent in a request for a 2-week adjournment because she was going to deliver any day. There's lawyers
तो इनॉग्रेशन वाली ओरिजिनल फोटो थी ना वो नहीं आ रही।
Hi, we're just fixing it. Give us a moment.
Yeah. Carolina, did you hear the Indian perspective? Carolina?
Yes, we just lost your connection for a while now.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, but you heard Siddhi and you heard
Yes.
Shruti and Monica and everyone. So can you give us a Brazilian perspective on this gender sensitivity?
Yes, I think it all sounds very familiar, what the other women said. In Brazil, it's not very different. I think for us, it's also very hard to put into practice what's actually formally already in the law since a long time. So men and women are equal under the law. Okay, great. How does that reflect on our day-to-day? So I was just thinking about in the workplace. My mom was a prosecutor for many years. She was one of the first in our state. And she got pregnant 3 times and one after the other. And the 3rd time she was pregnant, she was there working in the courthouse. And one colleague said to her, pregnant again, are you going to populate the earth? So this is the kind of comments you hear as a woman. I mean, you're a public server, you are on maternity leave legally, you're working all the other times, and you still hear things like that. So this is the kind of things we go through every day. I was hearing the American perspective as well, and I have a case with American clients, and I'm leading the case in Brazil together with another law firm, but for my firm, I am the leader. And when I talk to the law firm in America and I give them the strategy, it's amazing how they don't hear me. It's only when my partner repeats what I said that we get understood. It's really amazing. And at times, my coworkers left the room because they were so irritated that after half an hour that I was speaking, the meeting didn't go forward. It was only after my colleague, my male colleague, stepped in and repeated everything I said that we moved forward. So, I mean, things like that happen all the time. And if you ask me, yeah, but how does, I mean, on paper, you're both firms working together and you're the leader of your team. Yeah, great. Sure.
Yeah.
But in practice.
So Carolina, you are saying that Brazilian story is no different and you are all the same. Carolina was my batchmate in my master's education at Columbia University, New York. And yes, we had a good time in COVID. We were doing some global business law education together. So Carolina, I'll come back to you. And before that, can I quickly take Italian and Dubai view, or before that, I take your view, sir? So you have to leave. So I'll introduce you to everyone that he is the spiritual leader and very prominent spiritual personality in India who would conduct several discourses. And this time I've invited him to conduct something similar in America at the time of my inauguration on 21st of May there. So he'll be with us for 5 days in New York. And on 5 days, we are taking different topics. Apart from the topics dear to him, I'll be taking my topics or the topics which are dear to me, like depression or the mental diseases and how they can be resolved through Vedic education. So that is what I would like to do. With that, I would invite Swamiji to kindly offer his comments, and then he has to leave. So we will relieve him and we'll continue the discussion for 10 more minutes. Thank you, sir.
Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum. I'm really happy that I came across a new debate today. It's all new for me. And it has been being stirred up by Shruti very nicely. The difference between sex and gender, she cleared, and that was nice. What is the Indian approach, the Vedic approach to this question? As Shruti said, sex is physical, expression of the nature, and gender is how we look at us or the society looks at us. That's fine. But physical personality, whenever we talk, whenever we utter the word personality, we have got five-fold personality. The Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanmay Kosh, and Anandamay Kosh. The physical, the psychological, the vital, the intellectual, and the ultimate. So, on physical level, man and woman, they are different. That's true. On psychological level, they're different. On vital level, it is yet lessened. And on after ultimate source, they are one. So the differences are more when we come to the physical level. Internally, all jivas, so many challenges just because of a stable family system. And if the family system is to run nice, then just to, before a few minutes only, I got the fundamental duties, the paper of fundamental duties. We knew only about the fundamental rights. So, what are the fundamental duties? Those must be taken into account, and they are well defined. And there is no justice, no injustice at all in any way. In fact, to be given all the chances in the field of being chances or being scope, women are regarded higher than the men in India. Yatra naryostu pujante ramante tatra devataha samradhi shwashre bhava. When the bride comes to the home, the Vedic Rishi said, you are the empress of the family, empress. And being an empress is having the most of responsibility. That must also be known. And in this way, according to us, there should not be any debate or quarrel. We are Americanizing every country. We are Americanizing India, and that is very bad according to me. But right now, Sanjay ji told that American government, American justice, American judiciary, they are barring abortions, and Indian judiciary, they are allowing, it is alarming, because the Indian judiciary is not really Indian in the original term, original sense of the term. They don't have any education of Vedic law. They don't have that perspective also. And therefore, please don't just have airtight compartments. We have to take good from everything, right? Either from India or from America. The values are more important, and the values are natural values. See, what Vedas don't tell any religion. They are the ultimate constitution of the cosmos, and they keep balance between person, society, nature, and the ultimate source we call Paramatma, God, or anything. And if the balance is to be kept, we must include all and have a balance, even in both genders. Exactly. When you are fighting for some right, you can be given the right. You will be given the right. But at the same time, it must be told, to tell it that this is not the real field for you. A woman, according to me, according to the Vedic law, is the best in parenting. And both two things are most important in human life if it is to be developed. If we have to earn money and we have to have sensual pleasures only, then it's different. But if the life is to make real progress, all-round progress, then two fields are more important, most important. One is education and then parenting. Parenting is very delicate, and if parenting is done well, then the kid shall have the real development, psychological, physical development you people are having anywhere. But the psychological development, the love that is required, the caretaking, all this is not given in today's family, I think. And therefore, much is to be given for the women. And as I see, as I feel, as I read, I study, in India, they are given the higher place in the society. Matrudevo Bhava comes first, and then Pitrudevo Bhava. Even in Ramayana, Kausalya says, she tells Ram that if Dasharatha has told you to go to forest, you need not, because I can stop you. But if Kaikeyi Mata has told you to go to the forest, then you must go. You must obey the mother, you can ignore the father. That is Indian system. And therefore, the rights never please quarrel in the American or westernized fashion. Think in totality.
There will be no debate, and everyone would end the debate. Therefore, I wanted you to speak at the last, because now no one would debate about this. But because you do not have much time, therefore we would continue the debate only for, it's not a debate, just sharing of the perspective, just 5 or 7 more minutes, and then we'll end. But I wanted to.
It's based on me.
Just brainstorming, so that understand various perspectives, so that we develop our own thoughts in psychology. This is to train ourselves in psychology, and I'm doing it for my own benefit to be more mature in psychology. So thank you very much, Swamiji, for coming here and blessing all of us today, and giving such thoughts, which are, I think, you have not heard the Italian and other views, and I'll share with you the recording. Yes. And then I think in New York, I'm planning to have a live telecast, global live telecast. If that happens, yes, it shall be. We will just have Prashad the next 3-4 minutes, and we'll resume this discussion. I'll not say call it debate, just a discussion to understand this more. Prashad. Prashad.
श्रीर वर्चस्व ये उनके लिए है। हाँ, हम अभी तो कुछ तभी तकरार किए। इनको पहना मुझे दूसरा गाना ये राधा विजय ने भगवान होने चाहिए। नमः परमकल्याण नमः परमंगल शिवाय शांताय यदूनाम पदे नमः नमः परमकल्याण नमः परमंगल शिवाय शांताय
आपके लिए
सद्गुरु श्री ज्ञानेश्वर कृपा प्रसाद देव सकल मंगल फलावस्तु कल्याण वस्तु शुभम भवतु ज्ञानेश्वर।
मधु 2 मिनट पूजा करने।
मुझे फिर आपकी सेवा में पहुंचना है। उसके पहले राम माधव जी को मेरे को
मुझे मालूम है 4 बजे आपकी वो मीटिंग है।
So guys, let us come to the Italian view now, and while
आपका कमेंट बहुत अच्छा। ये सब
हम ज्यादा बोलते हैं।
Jhaveri Saab, I would at this stage kindly intervene and give your views on this topic of gender sensitivity. Please come in. Madhu ma'am, आइए मीनाक्षी आओ, मीनाक्षी आओ, मैडम आइए। Over to Jhaveri Saab. Jhaveri Saab, you have to unmute yourself, sir.
Very delicate issue. My experience as a professional, I think, speaking from my father, from my office, I have never found any discrimination. On the contrary, in my house, it's a reverse discrimination. Daughters has always been given priority. So I may not agree with my sister Gita Mittal. Whenever there is a chance at the residence, my father has always given priority to daughters. Even while in the profession, in at least speaking for Gujarat, we have always respected the lady advocates, and I think we have a great lawyers from Gujarat. And now at least 2 or 3 judges, one have reached up to Supreme Court. But to some extent, I am with the director, who is first lady colleague of your father. Yeah. Ultimately, if you are meritorious, people are appreciating and giving the respect on your merits. They are not much bothered about how you look or how you wear your dresses and everything. Ultimately, merits. Now today, merit is always getting aged. over the, and today in the trial court, I think 66 persons are average in all the three states I have seen, Gujarat, Orissa and Rajasthan, are the women are taken up in the lower judiciary, JM, judicial magistrate first class. And it may be in a given case, somebody might be a victim, but majority, I think ultimately merit comes. On the contrary, sometimes I found that if the preference is to be given, then in a committee where precision is required, we prefer ladies because they are more meticulous and they plan very meticulously. Therefore, in my perspective, it's there's not much gender bias in Gujarat, at least speaking for my experience in Gujarat.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And before I come back to you and Geeta madam once again, I would like to have the Italian and Dubai perspective and South African and UK perspective, and then we'll come back here. So 3 minutes each, 2 or 3 minutes each. Arunji, would you like to come first? No, Arunji is not there. All right. So Filippo, are you there, Filippo?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, Filippo. And please give us the Italian and UAE view on the gender sensitivity.
Yeah, sure. Maybe what I can do is to give the overview on the countries that I'm supporting in my professional experience. And I think it was something that was mentioned before by one of the panelists. She mentioned that if a woman is in the last late with a man, essentially the man will be selected. That, or this is one of the experiences that were shared. So in the company where I work, it's a US company. Since I joined 12 years ago, I was implemented a program that had the goal to increase significantly the number of women in leadership positions, so meaning at 50% of above. So that means that according to our system, if there are a women and a man equally good to take the job, the priority should go to the women. And this is something that has been implemented.
This is what you are talking of Dubai, or you are talking of the other countries for which you are responsible?
This is happening in Johnson & Johnson worldwide.
Worldwide, Johnson worldwide, all right.
In the market, I support directly. I'm a legal head for Africa, Middle East, Russia, CIS, and Italy, and a few other markets. So obviously, these apply differently from country to country because we go from situation where in Russia, where the demographic is the opposite. You have much more women than men in leadership position. So you have roughly 70% of women compared to 30% of men. You go to countries, especially in the Middle East, where the ratio is still different. There are clearly still a predominant number of men, and so there is more work to be done to respect. Maybe in 30 seconds, and I didn't count on how long I've been speaking, but just in 10 seconds, what I would like to share is the experience of a country in Saudi Arabia. That when I joined 11 years ago, first time I went to the office, women were not even allowed to work. And then a few years later, they had to stay in a separate office. And then what is interesting is the development of the last few years where, of course, not only offices are mixed and women are driving, but you see that there is a development, a massive development that has occurred, starting from the society. And then, of course, the company reflects developments that are happening. It's still, in terms of equality, you know, and the demographic perspective, we cannot say that, let's say, the numbers are still the same. But what I've seen personally compared to 10 years ago is incredible development. So hopefully everyone is going to the direction of equality, which I think is what we all agree on.
Thank you, Filippo, and it was nice talking to you. Filippo was my other batchmate in the Columbia University there, and he's a lawyer, in-house lawyer in J&J, headquartered at Dubai, responsible for about 50% of the world. So far as J&J is concerned, and he is himself from Italy. Okay. So he brings with him the culture of Italy and also the tone of Italy. So with that, I think I will switch back to Arunji is not there, so I would like to.
He just said that iPad 3 is Arun.
No, Dandania ji.
Oh, all right. So Arunji, I think he has boarded the flight for South Africa.
Sanjay ji, I need 1 minute.
You will have to conclude now. Now, before I come back to them, because today my Chinese friends are not there because some issue. Winnie was supposed to be there from Hong Kong to give the view of Hong Kong and China, where women are a little different and many times, they are more important than the men. So, but unfortunately, Winnie could not join today. So maybe from New York when we join, Winnie would also be there. So, but before that, I would like to request Meenakshi to ask a question to any of the panelists if she would like to ask, and then I will take up my last question. And after that, it will be your turn to conclude.
Yeah, Monica, I have a question for you. You are a successful woman in the corporate sector, and you have been in various roles and interacted with your colleagues who are with different perspectives, different thinking, different behavior. So what's your take on that? What were the challenges and issues you faced during this career path? And how
As she mentioned, she did not face any challenge. So I would like to reverse your question. I'll ask some other thing. Do you think that women are better in leadership roles or execution roles? I'll just ask the straight question.
Okay.
Do you think if you have to choose a leader and an executor, so sometimes people think that they are good leaders, sometimes they think that they are good executors, and both are equal, both are important. You cannot do the work we have without them. So if you have to choose for your companies and you are on the selection board, you are chairman of the selection board, and you have to select a CEO, and the next day you have to select not CEO but CEO, or you have to select not CEO but CFO, whom you like as per your gender choice. Give us a direct answer, please.
I have to say what you have asked. I have to answer your questions. Ignore him for me.
So she has a gender bias. So we have proved this here.
So you know what? I was reading this morning that if he had not taken that leadership role and said, yes, I will have the first woman in my office, I would not be where I am. And maybe so many other women who followed after me would not be there. So we have to, if we have to bring about the change, it has to be at every level. Promotions have to happen equally, like she was saying. Promotions have to happen equally for men and women at the same time at lower levels. At the top levels, it doesn't matter. I was very blessed because, as I said, it's different for different organizations. My organization had a great culture. They supported women. And like somebody was saying, we got positively discriminated. There was never any discrimination at all. So, and the other thing is, all these discriminations and all, they will happen for a few early years in your career. After that, it's who you are. Okay. Once you create your credibility, which you have to create so fast, nobody will discriminate yourself. Once you prove yourself. Yes. I have to answer you. I know you are running short on time, but I will answer your question. How can execution happen without leadership? So leadership sums everything up. If you have a good leader who can drive execution, it will happen. It'll happen, right? So execution and leadership, Sanjay, you cannot distinguish them.
No, I'm not just, I'm saying that if you could select somebody for some role, what would be in your mind? Let's say, I'll tell you very frankly my bias. I'll share with you my bias. When I have to select people for a traveling role, I say I'll select a boy. When I have to select a person for a desk role, I say my choice is a girl. No, I have a bias, I admit it. But I have my reasons for that.
Yeah, you're good.
So I'm saying for you, because the girl might say, I inducted the first lady candidate here in Delhi, and she said that I'm somebody who would like to be equal or at par with a man. I said, okay, I'll give you the chance, and you are my first recruitee for Delhi office. All right. So from tomorrow you start working. The next thing which, and I said that you come down to Jaipur. Next thing he said, Akile Jaipur aana hai kya? Now that bothers me. Now I'm ready to give the chance, but if the lady says that मुझे दिन के बस में अकेले जयपुर आना है, I'm not travel Delhi. You have to give the company of someone. अगर कोई जा रहा है दिल्ली से तो मेरे को उसके साथ भेज दो, मैं अकेले नहीं आऊंगा. I said, what you were saying before an hour in an interview. Give me the equal chance. I'm ready to give. Where are you? So I'm bothered. So whether my bias, because my bias comes from these incidences, that for traveling persons, no, I would not prefer a lady. But for desk work, I'll prefer a lady. So I'm just asking a very straight question, and because we are running short of time, do you think that, forget performance, because you have two equals, me and her, we are equals, and you have to select us for a position. You have three positions, CEO, CO, and a technical position, CFO. To whom you will prefer? You can't say that I'll prefer the performer because we are equals. Now you have to select and give your answer, please.
So you are talking about who will you select for operations? Okay. It's also possible, Sanjay, that you as a man will say, oh, I can't travel to Jaipur. And she'll say, Jaipur, mujhe aap gaon mein bhejo, main chali jati hu. It depends on individuals. You cannot say it's only Jaipur.
I'm saying that all individuals are equal in all levels.
No,
both of us.
the attitude.
So you are saying that girls would have that attitude and boys would not. Now that itself is gender bias. Yeah, my daughter would say, Shruti would say, that these things are unconscious bias.
She'll say, मैं तो गाँव चली जाऊंगी. जयपुर की तो बात ही छोड़.
Shruti says, what Shruti discusses with me is, you know, ask the choice from the person rather than thinking yourself.
Absolutely. That's
from your past experience that boys are like this and girls are like this. Absolutely. Every time you need to check. So that's what she says.
That's what attitude is
now,
all
I
about.
go back to Carolina now. Carolina, before I take up some of the last views, now you have heard Monica D is echoing many things what Madam Geeta has told, but they had a difference at the last moment that at higher level roles, she says it doesn't matter, man or woman. Now she says no. At higher level also, they have to be given that kind of protection, or they have to be preferred, they have to be given equal chance, or they have to be considered. According to her, they have to labor 150 times of a man, so they should be treated as equals. So what do you have to say on that? Does it happen in Brazil or the countries which you travel for your work? You have remained in, I think, UK or Germany for your education? Carolina?
Yeah, I was educated in Germany, and I lived in, I've been living in Brazil for the last years.
Yeah, where you met your first boyfriend and you got married, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Better person to share that experience.
Yeah, I have the feeling in Germany, women are, or were at least when I lived there, were very much inclined to either work or have a family. It was kind of impossible to conciliate both things. And that's very sad. In Brazil, it's not so much like that, and women are encouraged to work. The thing is, I don't see as many chances for women in leadership positions as for men. And it's simply because they're not considered. So you see, for example, in events, in speeches, women are just not invited. So you have many, in a panel like this, for example, in Brazil, maybe the organizers wouldn't come to think of inviting so many women to speak. And this is something we are fighting against in our levels.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. And so you see, for example, in the Supreme Court, we have 11 justices, only 2 are women. In the Superior Court, we have 33 justices, only 6 are women. So you don't see women.
Yes.
Same position.
Same position. We have the same issue here. And Carolina, only for the interest of some of the Indians sitting here, can I ask a question which may be embarrassing, maybe not, I don't know. I know the answer, but for information of everyone, at what age you got married and at what age you became mother? I would like to tell everyone. I know that, and that is definitely surprising for everyone. Yes, please tell us.
I was married at the age of 23, and I got my first child at 28, and then I got divorced at 33 after having 3 children, and I got remarried last year. So
that's my story. Thank you very much, and I'll come back to Justice Jhaveri here. And sir, I have you have given the example of Gujarat that we are very good and in governance and giving chance to the women and gender equality and all that. How many women chief justices have been in Gujarat so far?
No chief justice from the Gujarat.
No chief justice. So that's what Geeta Madam.
One lady, yes. Justice Doshi was Chief Justice Patna. She was from Gujarat.
All right. So just one in so many years, sir. What is the issue? Are they getting?
No, there I tell you the number of lawyers.
No. Geeta Madam is saying not in Gujarat.
No, Mr. Kamar. Then we have to look at the total number of percentage women practicing in the High Court.
Yes. Now that is right. I think at the entry level, if you are low in percentage, at the higher level, how can you seek the equal protection or equal chance? Because if you go from the entry, and what she says appears to be right, that you want that there should be equal panel. Now, today, what happens? Many boards have women directors only because of the requirement of listing, or only because of the boardroom aesthetics. Not because they consider them to be good leaders.
Yes.
Perhaps the same is happening in courts.
No, that's not so.
That's not true?
We have national law universities in India. We have law schools. 50% of the law students are women.
But that is now.
Just let me know. We've had national law universities for decades. It's been 50% and even 60%. I was on the executive of the National Law University, Delhi, from the time it came up, and that is more than a decade old. Bangalore is much older. We have exams at the judiciary, what Brother Jhaveri has just pointed out. Entry-level points where the system is merit-based, where there is an examination, where men have no role in the selection or choice. There, the entry level of a subordinate court judge is 50%.
But that is right.
Let me finish.
I have a supplementary question.
Can I just finish?
There is an entry level.
Just 1 minute. So where there is no choice, the selection is based on marks. There, the entry level is 50%. It is only when you come to the constitutional post where there is no objective selection of criteria or objective method of selection, no method of laying down how many judgments you've written, how many are good, how many cases you have argued. It's absolutely arbitrary, is where women are losing out. If you follow the same system as have an open exam, let the men and the women compete and then make appointments to high courts and Supreme Courts. Let's see how the number increases or changes. So just let me finish. It is lack of an objective criteria, lack of women in selectors, what Monica ji has pointed out. Unless you create a women leadership, Supreme Court, they take women when they are retiring from the High Court. Other than Justice Ruma Pal, who got 7 years in the Supreme Court, no woman judge has even reached the collegium. Will you ever appoint will they ever look at a woman judge? And they're so quick to supersede good judges from states who have been good, good judges who have got good gradings are superseded when it comes to High Court appointments. Why is that so? It doesn't happen to men. There's so many instances.
Can I now just ask you
something?
something?
So it is because where you have a choice, you will choose a man. Yes, And so far as
Can I ask it?
just one more thing I wanted to point out, committees. You look at committees in the high courts. You'll never put a woman high court judge in the IT committee or the court administration committee. She will be put in the protocol where she's organizing tea parties and the farewells of judges, etc. So this is not a grievance. This you can't speak for Gujarat, brother. I'm speaking for the country over. It's the same practice.
Now,
Rajasthan, I think, is not a single lady from bar.
Kindly allow me to ask.
And there's so many high courts where they've never appointed a woman judge.
Kindly allow me to ask you a question.
Yes.
Now, I'm with you when you say that in the selection process at the threshold, you have equal number because the competition is on merits totally. But see, what happens in the middle tier? In the middle tier, many of the women themselves by choice, let me finish now, by choice, choose what they consider to be a better role for them after marriage. They consider career to be secondary. And, I also propagate that many times that if you think that, do that. And in my office, when we select at initial level, they are 20-20. But 5 of them after marriage would like to practice part-time. They come and give their choice. We will practice part-time and that's our pleasure. I say, I respect them. And only one of them after 10 years would say, I want to become partner and would like to take that responsibility of becoming a 24 hours entrepreneur. Rest of them would say, sir, please relieve us from that responsibility. Give us a secondary role where we are not being called upon to attend a client at 10 o'clock in the night. Men do not say that. Is that the reason that entry level is okay? They are 50-50. Middle level, by their own choice and pleasure, and I respect that, 50% or more than 50% of them go and they would like to have more pleasure in their parenting or household responsibilities. 50% more would go after 10 more years and would say, we'll come back after our kids have gone to colleges because now we are free. They consider this to be secondary. That because wherever I talk about her, she was coming to my office until my kids got into some international college admissions. After that, now she wants to come back. So they consider. I respect that decision.
Speak as a woman professional?
No. Now I have my time. Now I at least give me the equal protection here. You are the judge also. So you got your time and I must get my time here. So what I'm saying is, it is by their choice that they are preferring a better. I'm not saying they are not getting a role. I would say they are getting a better role of leadership there where they have the veto. In profession, they feel that we are equals. We would like to go at a place where we are CEOs and that is home only. And I think they are right at many places. They have the overruling authority at home. At place they have to compete and they want that soft work. Sorry for being so harsh. Here, it's not the gender bias. I'm facing this reality and I can give the example by name in my office that out of 10 which I've selected, who went to their home at what stage, despite doing very good and despite getting chance of becoming the partner, they chose not to become partner and have that responsibility. Man chose the otherwise. And therefore, at the top, when the process of selection comes to the opening, you have only 10 women and 90 men. And then even say that you are selecting 2, 1 out of 10 and 1 out of remaining 90. Now that is the real problem which Justice Javin is pointing out. And see, I am seeing and witnessing this in my office that I have at entry level, as I've told, 20-20. At partner level, it is 2 versus 9.
Sanjay Bhai, I ran a law firm for 23 years and I had 7 women. And my office used to start at 8 in the morning and used to close at
I would like to have a merger with your firm.
Let me finish. No. I left it and joined the judiciary. There's a material difference between the law firm and the judiciary. But I'll ask you one thing. Do you have a creche in your office? Or do you permit? No, don't answer right away. I'll put a few questions which I know a law firm which does. And there is no attrition from that law firm. And there are women in senior partnerships.
I take this point, very good point, and I would like to have this.
Do any of you permit flexi hours to the women? Why are you saying a woman
So
is
we
a sin?
permit
Just
it.
let me finish.
My
Just
partner
let
is
me-
there, Aditi is there.
Just let me, most of it as a policy. Do you permit, do you have a room, a lactating room, a child feeding room in your office? Would you permit your junior to bring a baby with a maid, or do you have any governess or something in the office?
We would like to do
just,
that.
Just 1 minute. And one very, very difficult thing which shows tremendous biases that the woman is the CEO at home. Why not the man? Now I'll tell you, my parents got married in 1952. My mother was a school teacher and my father used to work for Burma Shell. And the equality that I saw in 1952, if my mother washed the clothes, my father put them on the line. My mother went to school, my father bathed me, and they had only 2 daughters. My younger sister, 7 years younger, is a doctor. So that's the kind of equality I come from. My father used to put us in the sick, bathe us, dress us, and give us breakfast and drop us at school. I saw equality in 1950. I was born in 1958, and that's the kind of equality I've seen. When we are talking of the judiciary, nobody leaves. We are talking of from sub-judge to the district judge to the high court level. That's what we talked about. That
So
even
I think
the
we
judiciary
have to close it today and we'll
yes.
open the debate once again because I have not counted your time because Madhu madam called me yesterday night and said that you will not speak at all and you will just visit and give bouquet and go back. So I have not taken into account the time you have taken most of the time of the panel and they will say that you are discriminating against us. So I must not do that. Justice Javeri would complain to me that what you are doing, you are giving more time to her than to me. So sorry.
No, Sanjay, I have a faith in my competence. Don't worry. I'm not going to Supreme Court, but I'm satisfied.
But I take very good suggestions from you and Harsha and everyone, all partners can be rest assured that when we grow to that level and we'll have in our advisory board, Justice Javeri and Justice Geeta madam, and we'll implement whatever they say and let us see with their blessings, we can grow to a, I think the best law firm of the country with the guidance of both of them. And there, I'm assuring you, 2 members at the governing council of the law firm, 1 male and 1 female. So I'm assuring you that. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. And Filippo, it was nice of you. Siddhi, at the wrong time, I bothered you. And Carolina, I know you had your family plans. And for me, you disturbed your plan and you have joined us at odd hours. Thank you very much. And I sign off now and we'll meet. And thank you for doing Namaste in our own form. I have for all of the panelists a silver coin of Government of India. We are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I'll just show that coin to you. So whosoever is on the panel today, and whosoever is out of India, whenever I meet you next, I'm preserving your gift with me and I delivered that to you. It's a beautiful silver coin with the Indian flag. And because we are celebrating 75 years of independence in India. So I thought that what could be a better gift than that silver coin. And I'll just show that silver coin on the screen to you that this is your gift, which I'm preserving with me. And hopefully I would like to see you in New York. And there I would like to deliver this something. Yeah. So this is the gift. Which you can see the flag very well. So let me open this up. Yeah. So this is the gift for you. I think now you can all see. This is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I can keep it close to the camera. This bears the Indian flag, and it is written 75 years of independence, India, and it is a silver coin by Government of India.
It has India Gate. India Gate.
Yeah, and you have the India Gate here, which is a monument in Delhi. And I invite all the panelists who are outside India to Delhi and visit this. And if they want to have this here, it'll be my pleasure to host your entire visit to India. Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. That is all.
Thank you, Sanjay, and congratulations on the inauguration, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All the best for Delhi office.
Congratulations, thank you.
It is your officer, as I've already mentioned. Whichever has remained in Rajasthan, I have reserved conference room for all of them. If you visit Delhi anytime, you can use this conference room. I have suggested same to Justice from the last Chief Justice, Also, I've suggested to all of them that, and they have said that yes, they'll be using this conference room for their arbitration and other meetings when they come to Delhi. I'll not offer this to Geeta Madam because she has a close by office here itself, and she has her own beautiful office here. But to all others who are not from Delhi, kindly join us at our office whenever you are next in Delhi. And please feel free to use my office as your office. Thank you very much once again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Let's see what should be fine.